The Baba Ghoulie Show is brought to you by OTR Halloween Holidays.
In just a moment, Autolite presents Suspense, starring Margaret O'Brien.
Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh.
Why, Hap, that's not the way to sing hurrah for Thanksgiving Day.
What are you telling me, Harlow Wilcox? Why I've
No,
sung that song?
Hap, this is the way it goes today. Over the river and through the woods and never mind the snow. Grandpa is happy with his jalopy, his battery's never low. Over the river and through the woods, blow high ye winds, blow low. The car's as snappy as Grandma and Pappy, with an Autolite stay full, you know.
But, Harlow,
Why,
that's
you
not...
see, Hap, Autolite stay full batteries have changed a lot of things today.
Harlow, isn't anything sacred anymore? It's Thanksgiving Day. Let's listen to Margaret O'Brien on Suspense.
Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Miss Margaret O'Brien in Anton Leader's production of The Screaming Woman. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I'm Margaret Leary, and I've got to tell you how it happened. It was Thanksgiving Day, and it was nice and sunshiny. Almost like summer, except cooler. Mama was cooking the turkey, and I was watching. And Mama said to me,
"Good heavens, I forgot. Your Aunt Cynthia's made some cranberry relish for us. Run over and get it, Margaret, so her feelings aren't hurt. And hurry. This turkey's done to a turn."
So I ran to Aunt Cynthia's, and on the way back I took a shortcut through Mr. Kelly's lot. It's a big lot, more like the side of a hill that slides down to Monument Creek. It's a swell place to play Indians and cowboys, or explorers are hunting for treasures, because trucks dump all kinds of stuff there. Loads of dirt and junk, and even big things like old cars and big pipes and chunks of concrete. Well, this day, coming back from Aunt Cynthia's, I saw that a lot of new junk and dirt had been dumped there since Saturday. They'd even covered up our swell big concrete pipe that us kids called our fort. Covered it clear up. I was looking around to see where it used to be when, all of a sudden, I stopped and listened. The sound was coming up out of the ground. A woman was buried under the junk and dirt and glass, and she was screaming all wild and horrible for somebody to dig her out. I started to run. I fell down and got up and ran some more. It was an awful, awful long way to our house that day. Mama! Mama!
Margaret?
Mama!
Oh, Margaret, haven't I told you not to slam the door? Is that the relish?
Listen, Mama. There's a screaming woman in the lot.
Wash your hands, Margaret.
She was screaming and screaming and screaming. Mama, listen to me. We've got to dig her out. She's buried under tons and tons of dirt.
I'm sure she can wait till after dinner. Oh, next year, I swear I'm going to buy a bigger platter.
Mama, don't you believe me? You've got to believe me.
Margaret, I've got a million things to do. Good gosh, look at you. How'd you get your knees so dirty?
Well, running back from the lot,
Never mind. Scoot and tell your dad we're about to eat. He's in the front room reading his paper.
Yes, Mama. Daddy! Oh, Daddy, I've got to tell you something.
Getting hungry, baby?
Daddy, there's a screaming woman in the lot.
Oh, I never knew a woman who didn't. Smell that turkey.
We've got to get picks and shovels and dig her up, like for an Egyptian mummy. Oh, Daddy!
I don't feel much like an archaeologist today, Margaret. I can't think of anything but food. Let's have an expedition next Sunday and dig her up.
But we can't wait that long. Oh, Daddy, she'll die if we don't do it now. I'll give you some money.
Oh, so it's a business proposition. Well, how much do you pay by the hour?
I've got $5 whole. It took me a year to save.
Come here, puss. You know I'm touched.
Oh, but Daddy,
You want me to play with you, and you're willing to pay me for my
but-
time. Why, dear, you're shaking. Calm down.
Oh, Daddy, please.
After our Thanksgiving dinner, I'll come out and listen to your screaming
Oh, but-
woman. How's that?
Oh, no, now, Daddy. Maybe she'll die if you don't come out now. Oh, you've got to come now.
Margaret.
If you believe me, you wouldn't wait. You never believe me. Mama doesn't believe me.
Margaret,
Nobody
Margaret,
believes me.
Quiet down right this minute.
Oh,
Or I not only won't go with you, but you'll go to your room and stay in without your Thanksgiving dinner. Now, is that clear?
Yes, sir. It's clear. I always liked Thanksgiving, almost next best to Christmas. But that was an awful one. Dinner was a million years long. Everybody moved so slow, like a slow-motion movie. Forks and knives and spoons moved slow, and Dad's cheek muscles moved slow when he chewed. I'll try to make things faster.
Margaret, you heard your mother now. Don't eat so fast.
But, Daddy, the screaming woman, we've got to hurry.
My dear young lady, this is Thanksgiving dinner, an occasion when we do not hurry. No, I intend to eat 4 or 5 helpings of everything until I can't eat any more. And I'm going to make an extra effort and find room for pumpkin pie, a few walnuts, and stuffed dates.
Oh, please, please,
Now,
Daddy.
if you pester me any more, if you mention her again, this screaming what's this, I won't go out with you to hear a recital at all. That understood?
Yes, sir. It's understood. I wanted to yell, oh, please, rush, get up, run around, come on, hurry. But I had to sit still, while out there in the lot with the sun shining down, all alone with nobody to hear or to help her, was the screaming woman. I could hear in my mind, screaming. Mom and Daddy couldn't hear. They just kept on eating and talking.
Well, now that I can be thankful for a full stomach, I guess we should consider what other things we have to be thankful for,
Well, we're all healthy. Prices are sky high, but we're not in debt. Yet.
Those are mundane things, my dear. I'm thankful for my big daughter. Right, Puss?
Yes, Dad.
And for my loving wife, who is still the most romantic woman I know.
Oh, silly.
I'm thankful I didn't marry somebody else.
You nearly married Dora Lampell. Even gave her a ring.
No, I never meant anything. No one... No. You're the only one who's been the serious competitor since we were all kids.
Oh.
There's only one. One
Who?
other. Helen Nesbit.
Oh.
Yeah, Helen was my first love. When she was about as old as Margaret, I gave her a present one Christmas, and she gave me one, and I still have it.
Oh, that paperweight on your desk.
Funny how we hang on to things that were important when we were kids.
Daddy.
Just a little longer, boys. Warm up my coffee, will you, dear?
You know what I'm thankful for, dear? Seriously. That we stayed here in this same town where we grew up. Here you are, dear.
Thank you.
The same friends. Even the same street. It's been a peaceful life. Not very exciting, but...
Daddy.
Margaret finds it pretty exciting.
Yes, you better take her out to the lot before she collapses.
All right, now, where is your screaming woman? Lead me to her.
Over here, where our fort used to be.
Fort.
The big concrete pipe. It's all covered up now.
Kelly's really getting this lot filled in. All right, where's the lady?
Right about here, Daddy. Listen.
Don't hear a thing, except the wind. Better button up your sweater, Puss.
Shh. Listen.
Well, that's the trolley over on Aspen Street.
Hey there, screaming woman. Hey!
Looks like the Dolans are starting out for a drive. Well, I guess your screaming woman's let you down, Puss.
But she was here, Daddy. Right under here where they dumped all this dirt. I heard her screaming and screaming, like she was underneath the fort. Somebody's dumped tons and tons right on top of our fort.
Yeah, too bad they buried your fort, Margaret. I saw 2 of Kelly's big trucks backed in here last evening. There was a dump truck in here this morning, too.
It isn't because they covered the fort.
It must be your screaming woman doesn't like grown-ups. Only delivers her solo for kids, I guess.
Maybe she can't scream anymore.
Well, I'm going back and take a nap. Let my dinner settle.
Well, aren't you going to help me dig?
Now, listen, my dear. Don't you think this is a sort of a silly game?
But it's not a game.
Now, don't stay too long, dear. Mama probably likes some help with those dishes.
Daddy! Daddy! I know I heard her scream. I know it. Oh, darn, darn, darn! You're there. You're still there. Hey, screaming woman! Oh, why did you scream before? Why didn't you scream so Daddy could hear you? Don't just scream for me. I can't help you all by myself. Daddy! Daddy, where are you?
Upstairs, Margaret. There I am.
Daddy, she's screaming again. Right after you left, she started to scream. You've got to come back.
Oh, there now. Come here. Let me feel your head.
Please, Dad.
Why, you've got a fever. You're going to lie down, young lady.
We can't leave her down there, Dad. We just
Come
can't.
on along. Come on into your room. That's right.
It's awful, Dad. It's awful for her to be screaming and nobody listening.
Now, listen,
Nobody
you
caring.
lie down, Post. Lie down now. Come on.
She'll choke where there isn't any more air and she'll die.
Now, you're going to lie down the rest of the afternoon before you make yourself sick.
No, I've got to dig. I've got to dig her up.
It's all those comic books you read. Now, I forbid you to leave the house. Close your eyes now and take a nap. That's my good girl.
Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
For suspense, Autolite is bringing you Miss Margaret O'Brien in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Hello? I have a hunch you're going to give me another Autolite Stay Full Battery Thanksgiving song.
No, not me, Hap.
No?
No, sirree. By Cornelius, I'm going to tell a Thanksgiving story. It's a fable.
Couldn't be anything else if you told it.
Now, listen to this, my trigger-tongue trooper. Last year at this time, my car called me out to the garage.
What?
Quite a car, too, Hap. Once a year, she overhauls me.
Wow, and on Thanksgiving Day, too.
Harlow, she said, I have an empty feeling, and I'm so confounded thirsty all the time, I think you ought to do something about it. I'd like to end up Thanksgiving Day with that fine, full feeling that lulls you to sleep as soon as the mince pie disappears. Well, how, my pretty, says I, can all this be accomplished? Easy, she chimes. I need to switch to an Autolite Stay Full battery. Why, with an Autolite Stay Full battery, I'll never be thirsty, and if you use me normally, I'll need only 3 drinks a year. And what's more, with the oversized electrical capacity and fiberglass insulation of that Autolite Stay Full battery, I'll have more power, stay lively longer, and save you time, trouble, work, and worry. And Harlow, for a fellow as lazy as you are, think what all this means. Well, when she came up with all those points in my favor, I hurried, I hastened, I hurtled till I was exhausted. And by Christopher, I got an Autolite Stay Full battery and gave it to Clarissa. I call my car Clarissa. Thanksgiving morning. We took a spin, and I could tell she was happier than a penguin with skis.
It sounds like Harlow in Wonderland. Well, now, let's get back to Margaret O'Brien and the Screaming Woman.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Miss Margaret O'Brien as Margaret in The Screaming Woman. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
After a while, I stopped crying. I had to get back to the lot where that woman was screaming, but I was locked in. I tied a sheet to the bed and let it out the window and shinnied down to the ground. Then I ran to the garage and got shovels and ran to the empty lot. The sun was almost down and it was getting cold. I started to dig fast.
Hiya, Maggie.
It was Dippy Smith, who was 10 years old, the same as me. He goes to my school.
What you digging for?
For a screaming woman. She's down in the ground and I'm going to dig her up. You can help me dig, Dippy. There's an extra shovel.
I don't hear nothing. And I don't dig unless I hear a scream.
Then listen.
I don't hear nothing.
Just wait. You will. There. Did you hear it?
Hey, that's okay. Do it again.
Do what again?
The scream. Do it again. Go on. I'll give you this Aggie if you teach me to do it. Hot dog, did you get that ventriloquist book for a dime from that magic company? You got one of those tin things in your mouth?
I won't tell unless you help me dig.
Okay, swell. Give me the shovel. Hot dog.
And you got to dig fast, like this, Dippy.
Boy, you'd think she was right under our feet. You're wonderful, Maggie. Say, what's the screaming woman's name? You must have made her up a name.
Oh, sure. Her name is Wilma Schwager, and she's a rich old lady, 160 years old, and she was buried by a crook named Spike. Come on, Dippy, dig. Keep digging. We can't stop, Dippy.
Oh, I'm tired. I think I'll go home.
Dippy, stop. You can't. There really is a woman buried here.
Well, sure. You said so, Maggie.
Oh, don't you believe me? I wasn't throwing my voice. Come back, Dippy.
Okay, but I'm getting tired of digging.
Now, look, Dippy. I'll go way over here, and then you listen.
Okay.
Listen.
Hey, there really is a woman here.
That's what I told you.
Well, come on, let's dig. How's she breathing, do you think?
I think she's in the fort. Remember?
Sure. That's where she must be. 5 or 6 of us kids could get in it so it's big enough. I sure hope it isn't just a radio or something.
Well, a radio would be nice, too.
Here, what do you kids think you're doing?
Oh,
hello, Mr. Kelly.
I'm tired of chasing you out of this lot. If one of you gets hurted, maybe your folks would sue me.
But, Mr. Kelly, there's a woman screaming.
You kids beat it, do you hear?
Yes, sir.
But listen, Mr. Kelly, don't you hear her? There.
I don't hear a thing, and neither do you. Now beat it.
Come on, Maggie.
Mr. Kelly, somebody's got to dig her up.
Don't argue with me or I'll phone your folks. This is my property. Do I have to put up a fence? Why should I spend money to keep people off my own property?
Dippy, it's him. He's the one.
Huh?
He murdered Mrs. Kelly. He hit her on the head and stuck her in the fort and dumped loads of dirt on top. But she wasn't dead. She came to. Why, you saw him. He stood right there when she screamed and wouldn't pay any attention.
Hey, that's right. He stood right there and lied to us. What'll we do, Maggie?
There's only one thing to do. We'll phone the police and tell them to come and arrest Mr. Kelly.
Hey, they sure got here fast, Maggie.
Shh! Don't make a sound.
Is Mr. Kelly in the house?
Yes, he went right home from the lot.
Yes, officer.
You, Mr. Kelly?
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Is Mrs. Kelly at home this evening?
Why, sure.
Can I see her, sir?
Why, sure. Hey, Anna. What's up?
We got a call. Oh, good evening, ma'am.
What is it?
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, folks. We got a call that Mrs. Kelly was buried alive in an empty lot. Sounded like some kid calling, but we had to make sure. We always check, you know.
Why, I can't understand.
It's
what
those
such a-
blasted kids. If I ever catch them, I'll break their necks.
Maggie, cheese it.
Boy, if Mr. Kelly telephones my dad, I'll get a licking.
What'll we do about the screaming woman?
What the heck with her? I'm not going near that lot again.
Wait, Dippy.
Huh?
I know why he didn't hear the screams. Kelly's sort of deaf. Mama says he's hard of hearing.
He heard us, didn't he? He heard the cop.
He reads people's lips, but he couldn't hear the screaming woman because he couldn't see her. Dippy, come on. We gotta dig some more.
No, sir.
But we've got to.
We're already in a peck of trouble over your darn old ventriloquist voice. I'm not going to get in any more trouble. No, sir.
And he went off and left me alone. I wanted to crawl down under the ground with the screaming woman and die, too. It was dark now, and Dad would be hunting for me. If he found me, I'd get a licking and be put to bed. And then nobody would help the screaming woman at all. There was only one last thing to do. So I did it. to go all over the neighborhood from house to house and find out who's missing.
Why, hello, dear.
Hello, Mrs. Griswold. Is anybody missing from your house? Is your sister from Detroit still here?
Yes, she's sitting right over there by the radio. Don't you see her? Little Margaret Leary wants...
No, I only wanted to see her, Mrs. Griswold. I was just wondering. I just wanted to know if she was here. Hello, Mrs. Pikes. You're looking good. I'm glad to see you're at home, Mrs. Pikes. I'm awful glad. Mr. Hyde, is your wife still here?
Dora, aren't you out pretty late, Margaret?
Yes. Oh, hello, Mrs. Hyde.
What is it, Margaret?
I just wanted to see you, Mrs. Hyde. That's all. The hours were just rolling along, and I rang bells and knocked, and I rang bells. I was about to give up when I came to the Nesbit's house. The house was quiet, like nobody was at home, but I saw a dim, spooky light inside somewhere. So I just kept knocking and knocking. Oh.
What do you want?
Oh, nothing, Mr. Nesbit. I only wanted to see Mrs. Nesbit.
She's not here. She's gone to the store.
At night? Besides, it's closed today, I think.
The drugstore down on Clark Street.
Oh, well, then she ought to be back pretty quick. I'll come in and wait.
Hey, wait a minute.
I'll just sit down here and wait. I sure like this rocking chair. Go right ahead and do whatever you were doing, Mr. Nesbit.
I wasn't doing anything.
Oh, looks like you were packing or something, with all those boxes and trunks around. Going away?
No, Helen's been sorting things out, getting rid of a lot of stuff.
Oh, burning it up in the fireplace.
Yeah, that's right.
Dad always burns our junk out in the alley. Clothes smell awful when they burn.
Look, kid, Helen may have gone on from the store to visit a friend.
Well, if she doesn't come back soon, I'll leave.
Yeah, I'll tell her you were here. What do you want to see her about?
Oh, nothing much. Hey, that's too bad.
What?
I guess you lost the key to that box. You had to break the lock.
No, it was broken already. Yeah, I bet your folks don't know where you are, kid.
No, sir. They think I'm in bed. What friend did Mrs. Nesbit go to visit?
Oh, I don't know what... I mean, hey, look, kid, I ought to tell you, she won't be back tonight.
Oh?
No. She went to the store, like I said, but she was going from there over to Beechwood to visit her mother. On a bus. She'll be gone 2 or 3 days.
Oh, that's a shame.
Why?
Well, Mama was expecting Mrs. Nesbit to come over tomorrow. Maybe to sell.
Hey, you better not tell your mother. You see, it's kind of secret about Helen going away. She doesn't want people to know for a while.
Oh.
You know how to keep a secret, kid?
I guess so.
Hey, I'll give you something for not telling. Hey, I'll give you a reward. Let's see. Hey, here's something for a kid. A doll.
A doll?
Yeah, well, Helen was going to give it to you. I heard her say when she was sorting the stuff. She said, I'll give this to the little Eerie girl.
Mrs. Nesbit always calls me Margaret.
Well, sure, that's what she said. Margaret. That's quite a doll. Old-fashioned. It's made of leather. Face is china or something, see?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mr. Nesbit.
It's a reward for not saying anything about Helen being gone. Understand? Now, come on. I'll snap on the porch light.
Mr. Nesbit, did you finish your driveway?
What do you mean?
Did you get all the dirt hauled off to make it smooth?
Sure. Now, come on.
I saw your dump truck in the lot this morning and...
What do you mean? Were you in the lot this morning?
No, I was at home. I looked out the window. Please, Mr. Nesbit, let go of my arm.
You've been playing out there today? Answer me.
Oh, don't. That hurts. I wasn't playing. It's no fun now with our fort all covered up.
The fort? What's that?
Nothing, Mr. Nesbit.
Tell me what you're talking about.
Nothing but that old concrete pipe.
You know something. That's why you came here. You've been snooping around that lot and you found out something. What do you know?
I don't know anything. Let me go, Mr. Nesbit. If you don't let me go, I'll...
Ow!
There!
Come back! Hey, come back, kid. I'll give you something else. I'll give you something else. Come back, kid. Come back.
Mr. Nesbit yelled because I kicked and bit his hand. Then I ran, but I heard him running after me. It was dark and quiet and scary on the streets, and more scary out there in the lot. I ran straight across the place where I heard the screaming, and it was so quiet. And all of a sudden, there was a man in the lot, right in front of me.
Stop, Margaret.
Oh.
Margaret?
Oh, Daddy.
Margaret, where have you been? Do you have any idea how your mama's worried? Do you know how late it is?
Daddy, he's after me.
We've been
Mr.
up and
Nesbitt.
down alleys and clear down to Clark Street. I was about to call the police.
The screaming woman. It's Mrs. Nesbitt down there.
I'm going to give you a good licking.
Mr. Nesbitt killed her, and now he wants to kill me.
I've had all of that idiotic talk I can stand.
It's true. You've got to believe
Margaret,
me.
I'm going to lick you right now, right here. I've had enough of... What have you got there? Where did you get that doll?
Why, I gave it to Leary. A kid stopped by the house. I remembered Helen said she wanted to throw it away.
Helen said to throw it away?
He's lying, Dad. He gave it to me so I wouldn't tell about her. It was locked up in a box. He didn't have the key. He broke it open.
She's a high-strung kid, Leary. All the stuff she was telling me.
He's lying, Dad.
Yes, he is lying. Why are you lying, Charlie?
Lying? How do you get that, Leary?
Helen never let you have that doll. It was locked up. It was a present I gave her a long time ago. She wouldn't throw it away anymore, and I'd throw away the paperweight she gave me. Why are you lying, Charlie?
I'm not. Don't look at me that way, Leary. As God is my witness, I...
It's her. Dad, it's the screaming woman.
As God is your witness.
Leary, don't! Oh.
Margaret, run to the house. Phone the police and tell them to hurry. Tell them we've got to dig.
Hello?
Hi, Dippy. Everything's fine. Everything's worked out keen. The screaming woman isn't screaming anymore. And they've got a lot of people down there digging her up.
Hey, that's swell. Hot dog.
And you know what else, Dippy? They're going to uncover our fort again. Oh, Dippy, wasn't it a keen Thanksgiving?
Thank you, Margaret O'Brien, for a splendid performance. Miss O'Brien will return in just a moment.
Oh, no, that Autolite Stay Full Battery fable wasn't bad, coming from a fairly fabulous fibber.
Ah, but you haven't heard all of it, Hap. Why, by Cornelius, Clarissa, that's my car, spoke to me again this morning. Thanks to you, she said, and that Autolite Stay Full Battery, this has been the happiest year of my life. Why, even these cruel, cold mornings, I've got that Autolite pep, that Stay Full Battery, get up and go. Well, Clarissa, I says to my gas buggy, you're the queen of the May, the lass with the delicate air, and the pride of Wilcox Alley all in one. What do you want now, my Thanksgiving precious? And she says, just to go to sleep out in the garage once again. Why, Harlow, you can even use my Autolite Stay Full Battery for a pillow. Happy slumber, and good night, everybody.
And remember,
Autolite means batteries.
Stay Full Battery.
Autolite means spark plug.
Ignition-engineered resistor spark plug.
Autolite means ignition systems.
The lifeline of your car.
And now here again is Miss Margaret O'Brien.
It's been just wonderful being on Suspense. And I hope you'll let me come back again sometime.
We will, Margaret. And now let me tell our listeners about next week. Claude Rains and Vincent Price in the famous mystery story, The Hands of Mr. Ottermole. Another gripping study in suspense.
Margaret O'Brien appeared by arrangement with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of the Technicolor picture The Three Musketeers, starring Lana Turner, Gene Kelly, and June Allison. Tonight's suspense play was by Ray Bradbury, adapted for radio by Sylvia Richards, with music composed by Lucien Morawek and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. In the coming weeks, Suspense will present such stars as Rosalind Russell, James Cagney, Ronald Coleman, William Bendix, and many others. Make it a point to listen each Thursday to Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills. And next Thursday, same time, hear Claude Rains and Vincent Price in The Hands of Mr. Ottermole.
Autolite Suspense Show signing off. Good night. Switch to Autolite.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
It's intermission time at the Baba Gully Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. This radio show has been brought to you by... Hello, kids. Bored at home? Can't get any girls to come over? Well, then call up some ghouls to come over instead. They'll certainly scare the pants off of ya. Just dial 1-900-CALL-GHOULS and hear some scary stories.
$2 for the first minute, 35 cents each additional minute, plus 3 solds for the full experience. Ask your parents' permission first.
And now back to our radio show. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda.
And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and the creeping thing and the fowls of the air. For it repenteth me that I have made them.
Make that line fast. Everybody ashore.
Strange. We can see only a small part of the island from this spot, but yet you can feel lack of welcome, lack of abiding life, huh?
Yeah, I felt the same when I came here before to rescue your first one. I not only knew that they were gone, but that they were lost, completely and forever, body and soul.
Please, Lieutenant. Some of those men were our friends from the same institute.
I'm sorry, Miss Huntley.
I'm not so sure you are right, Monsieur Quinlan. Maybe their bodies are gone, But who can tell of their souls, eh? Maybe if I call to them, they will answer. Their ghosts will answer. McLean! Hello! Hello! McLean!
Where is the house, Lieutenant? You can't see it from the shore. It's back in the hills, at the head of that gorge, just hidden in the cliff.
How fitting.
Might as well have a look at it. Well, they're coming in with the second load of supplies from the plane. Now let us send right up.
Hold your headway! You can approach! Hey, sit down in there! Well, get him up! I say him, he's on the bottom! What's the fall up there? God help us!
Cover him.
You know, I wish they'd get back. I don't like being out here all alone with old Tate's rigor mortis.
Sam, how did a nervous guy like you ever get involved in demolitions work?
Nervous? What do you mean nervous? I'm not nervous. It's a little high-strung, that's all.
Come on, help me get these pineapples inside.
You know, I don't know what we're going to use these for out here anyway. That's just to practice pitching by those babies out there.
Took his head off. His head? I'm afraid so. We're going to take him back to Eniwetok for burial.
I hope that man's death is not an omen of things to come.
Frankly, Doctor, I wouldn't care to stay here with you. But if you run into trouble or you need extra supplies, you can always reach the base by radio. And as of this rotten weather, it'll let us get back to the base at all.
Something in the air is wrong. Can you tell me what it is, Lieutenant?
I don't know, sir. Maybe it's because there's no sound. No animal noises of any kind.
Well, looks like we got the dynamite by mistake.
Looks like it. I'll cart it back down to the beach.
Oh, excuse me, Doctor.
That's quite all right. Just call me Marty.
Okay, Marty.
You know, the Navy boys really fixed this place up. I'm almost going to enjoy being here.
Yeah, you'd never think it was a complete wreck a few months ago.
If you want to see a wreck, take a look at my back.
Yeah, it'll be dark in a few minutes. Want to come watch it take off?
I'd like to. Now, get the others.
Lieutenant, I don't want to annoy you again, but nothing was left? Not a hair, nor fingernail clipping? Only McLean's journal?
Well, that's all, Doctor.
That they are dead, I can believe possible. But to vanish from the face of the earth? No.
The Navy thinks they were all at sea in their small boat when the typhoon hit. Lost with all hands is an old story.
Yes, but...
Everybody okay?
Yeah, it looks that way.
You okay, Mac?
Yeah, nothing that getting off this old pile won't cure. One month, no more. We'll watch you from the cliff. Au revoir!
Did you hear those sounds just before the quake?
What sounds, mon ami?
The deeper booming, rumbling.
No, I'm afraid not. Dr. Carson means the explosions. We should get up to the cliffs.
Hey, Hank, you're a scientist. How come they need a demo team like us in this hunk of dirt?
I'm no scientist. I'm a technician and a handyman.
So you still don't know what's going on?
Well, you remember that first big H-bomb test? The one that blew Ujulap Island right out of the ocean?
Well, who forgets that?
A tremendous amount of the radioactive fallout came this way. A great seething, burning cloud of it sank into this area, blanketing the island with hot ashes and radioactive seawater. Dr. Vigon's group is here to study fallout effects at their worst. Dr. James Carson is a geologist. He'll try to learn what's happening to the soil. The botanist, Jules Devereaux, will examine all the plant life for radiation poisoning. Martha Hunter and Dale Brewer are biologists. He works on land animalism while she takes care of the seafood. Dr. Carl Vigon is a nuclear physicist. He'll collect their findings and relate them to the present theories on the effects of too much radiation.
We blow up mountains for the geologist Carson. But this is the second bunch of brains to come out here. What happened to the first?
They were here, and a storm hit, and they were gone. That's all anybody knows.
Doesn't anybody wonder?
Everybody wonders. They just don't like to talk about it. Come on, we'll miss the takeoff.
Hank, get to the radio. Commercial station. Probably Manila or Samoa. It's all from beyond the area of disturbance. I don't get a thing on the Navy bands.
Keep trying.
All those men killed. We can't even send word through this storm.
The Navy will send a search plane, honey.
No, the Navy will assume that Lieutenant Quinlan decided to remain here rather than risk the storm.
I know Weetalk's probably getting as much static as we are.
Probably. Which means we can't do anything until conditions improve. So why don't we let Hank keep trying while we begin our own work? We have to go over McLean's journal sooner or later, so it might as well be now.
Then let us go into the living room. Thursday, March 11th. Today, Dr. Vendier's culture failed to produce any sign of bacteria, though left for 5 days in the open. Friday, March 12th. This afternoon, Professor Carter found a large piece of flesh having the same composition as that of the common earthworm, but measured 24 inches by 8. With this section as a measure, the worm-like creature would be more than 5 feet in length. Most intriguing is the tissue's consistency. It proves impossible to cut, knives passing through the flesh, leaving no mark. Fire was applied to the tissue, and the calorie result? The journal ends there.
Well, it's getting very late. Why don't we work out tomorrow's schedule and then get some sleep?
What about that 5-foot night crawler? Well, excuse me for being so stupid, me and that book you're reading.
We weren't laughing at you, Hank. It's just that McLean didn't really mean to imply that the flesh was from a big worm. He said from a worm-like creature.
You know, it might have been a sea worm. They've been known to grow much longer than 5 feet.
Well, excuse me for shooting my mouth off, but the journal didn't say anything about the sea. Just talked about worms.
Nothing in my experience leads me towards McLean's worm theory. Nothing.
You would know better than I. But why, I asked, did the writer stop in the middle of a sentence?
Yes, why, Carl? Unless something really unusual happened, I'm sure he would have finished.
We shall find out, I think.
Well, Jim and I will head down the South Valley in the morning. You know, I haven't seen any insect life since we arrived.
Quiet. Listen. There's the wind.
You nearly frightened me to death.
Well, no, I couldn't very well announce myself underwater kite. Besides, you look scared down there.
Well, I was scared. And lost, too. You know, Dale, it's funny, but I was using a big black rock as a landmark. But when I swam back, the rock was gone.
Well, I did see something move near you.
You did? I wonder what it could have been.
I don't know. Just a big black shape moving through the kilt.
Land crabs and seagulls. Everything else is dead.
Bill! Arthur!
What's the matter, Carson?
Come up the path. We'll meet you.
Well, son, come on, Hunter.
Oh, hold it. That rate will drop right off.
Off what?
Come, see for yourself.
But only this morning I came along this path on my way to the beach.
And it wasn't there.
You mean this pit wasn't here before?
It has only appeared in the last 20 minutes.
And it's at least 50 feet deep.
Nothing but land crabs.
I want to go down there.
No.
Why not?
You are a geologist. You know that a second disturbance would cause a cave-in that would crush anybody down in the pit.
He seems pretty definite, Jim. Is he right about a cave-in?
He could be, assuming this was caused by a disturbance.
Why, it's glazed as though it had been fired in a kiln.
Summers, you and fellows better put a couple of your lanterns around this pit so as to keep any of us from falling in the middle of the night. Come on, honey, let's go back to the house.
Martha, awake. Martha Hunter, awake. Awake, Martha. It is McLean. Awake.
McLean?
Martha, come to me. Help me. Help me. Martha. Martha Hunter. Help me. Help me. Martha, help me. Help me. Martha, come to me.
Jim, but...
So you heard it too?
Yes, it was Orville McLean's voice.
He called me as plain as day.
Strange, because I only heard him call my name.
How could the Navy search this whole island and miss a survivor?
If he is a survivor.
What does that mean? You heard him as well as I?
Well, someone could have been imitating his voice.
Well, who would do that?
I don't know, but I do know that McLean's dead.
Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to find out for sure.
Jim, you're not going down there.
Yes, I am.
But Carl's against it.
He's afraid of cave-ins. I'm not. Keep the sawmill out of sight.
Jim, you don't know what's down there.
What could be other than earth, water, and a few land crabs?
Jim? Jim!
I see her. Marty.
Oh, she has fainted. No more.
It's all right, honey. It's all right. Where's Jim?
He's in the pit. He went into the pit. I saw the rope go slack.
He must have fallen during the quake.
I warned him.
Carson! Can you hear me? Are you alive?
My leg. It's broken.
We are coming for you. Don't try to move. No, Jules. But we must go down to him. Not this way. The rope may be too short.
Then how?
Through the caves.
The great caves to the sea. But how do you know the caves connect with the pit?
Gentlemen, for reasons I have guessed, Dr. Carson also, these caves must join the pit, because the pit was created from below, not from the surface.
Dale, take Martha back to the house. The rest of us will look for Dr. Carson.
Dale, I'm all right. They'll need you with them.
If we can bring Dr. Carson out, 2 of us are enough. If we can't, a whole army will do us no good.
Are you hiding something from us, Doc? A theory, perhaps?
Maybe. Come, we must hurry.
You all right?
Just a little shaky.
Let's get back to the house and get some coffee.
Oh, I thought you were the boogeyman.
I thought we heard a girl screaming during the quake. Did part of the cliffs fall away into the sea?
Part of them. Well, it was pretty dark where we were, but it looked like the whole island was coming down. The boulders almost crashed us in the tent.
The whole island, yes. We must go faster. There is very little time.
Little time for what?
That is Dr. Wygon's small secret. Let us catch him and find out.
Doctor, why did you try to stop me from throwing that rock?
I just don't like to kill anything. even such ugly creatures as these.
Poor helpless things.
Helpless nothing. You ever see a bunch of them start on a wounded Marine? They'd finish him off in 5 minutes.
It's all the more reason to get Jim out of that pit.
Yes.
All the more reason.
Now, what do you want with McLean's journal now, honey?
I just thought I'd look through it and see what it was Max said about those great caves appearing in the sides of the hills.
Well, it didn't say much, except that it always happened at night.
It was right in here. There it is again.
Another quake.
No, the other sound. I heard it at the pit.
You know, if we both hadn't heard it, I'd swear it's my own imagination.
Dear, what can it be?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out, and I'll stay here, Monty.
Don't go in there.
Dr. Max. There's light ahead. It's coming from the pit. Carson, we are near you! Come quickly. He's still alive.
So let's get him out of here.
We will get him out. But we must move with caution.
Why?
Do not call to him.
Why not, Doctor?
Blood?
Where could he drag himself?
We will not find him tonight. We had better return in the morning when there's more light.
I don't like the idea of leaving him here all night with a busted leg.
Nor do I. Up the rope, quickly.
You might as well go back through the caves.
No, up the rope.
Dr. Weigand, you are a great nuclear physicist, while I am a simple provincial botanist. But there are things I do not understand.
There are many things that I do not understand also, Jules. You had better climb.
Our tent's just outside the cave. We don't have to go up the rope.
Up the rope.
I was afraid of.
It stopped.
Whatever it was must have damaged the wiring. Light one of the kerosene lamps, will you, honey? Here's your motive.
Food.
But not much, considering the size of the thing that did all of this. I guess there's no point waiting for the rest to get back. The storm should have let up enough for me to get through to the Navy now. Come on.
Oh, Dale.
Whatever it was that did this deliberately destroyed the radio. It had to be deliberate. Every piece of wiring has been ripped out and chopped to bits. Look, every tube has been sliced neatly in half. And it had to reach way inside to do it without wrecking these cabinets.
Well, all I can say is, why wasn't I invited to the party? Not funny, eh? Well, that's as it should be. Do you think you can fix it?
Fix it? I'll need a whole new outfit from the bottom up.
You have parts, enough to build a new one?
I don't know. Why do you suppose it didn't come through the door and get us, Carl?
I don't know. I can only guess. It would take considerable power to keep the intruder behind this door. There is power in the lighting in the living room.
You mean it's afraid of electricity?
I think so. Have you any other ideas?
Once upon a time, there was a mountain.
Hmm?
Yesterday, when we came to this island, there was a mountain out there. Today, there's no mountain.
I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised at anything, are you, Doctor? I suppose you can tell us what tore up this room last night.
No, I cannot tell you that. But I can tell you this. Everything that has happened from the death of the first sailor to the destruction of our radio must be somehow related. They are too far from the normal scheme of things to be separate accidents.
If there is a single cause, then that cause is outside of nature as we know it.
Yes, that is why I insisted on caution entering the caves. We are unquestionably on the brink of a great discovery. It is not likely that that discovery will be of a pleasant nature. That is the sum of my knowledge. If you need more, I suggest you ask Dr. McLean when next his voice calls in the night. Now, let us again seek Dr. Carson.
I don't understand this. We've covered every exit from the base of the pit. Wounded as he was, he couldn't have crawled this far.
And yet still no sign of him.
No, will be, eh, Carl?
Something to tie it with.
Top of my pack, Carl.
You'll need a tourniquet, too.
Hello there, anybody alive? You all right?
How did you know we were in here?
We didn't. We were on the other side of the island. Well, it used to be the other side of the island. Most of us fell into the drink already. So we run in here when we heard you call.
Call? We didn't call you. Whose voice did you hear?
Well, it sounded like the other guy. You know, the fellow fell into the pit.
So he is still alive.
If we do not move fast, Jules will not be alive. Come, give us a hand.
This will help you sleep, Jules.
Thank you, Martha. I could use some sleep. Messieurs et mesdames, je voudrais présenter pour votre inspection la seule fleur unique au monde.
Give me two.
Here's two. And I'll take one. Bet you 10.
Okay, I bet you 10, and I'll raise you 10.
If you're not careful, you'll raise us both 10 feet.
What's the matter, nervous?
What do you mean, nervous?
Okay, what do you got?
3 queens.
Well, big deal, so you finally won a hand. I'm still 106 of dynamite and one wild explosion ahead of you. What's that?
Sounds like a kid dragging a stick across a picket fence.
We ain't got no picket fence out here.
Professor Devereaux. Professor Devereaux.
Who is there?
Seaman Ron Phillips. And Sam Summers. We found Dr. Carson.
Where are you?
We're outside. We can take you to Dr. Carson, but you've got to be quiet. Very quiet. Will you come?
Yes.
Come down the path toward the big pit.
We'll meet you there and lead you to Carson.
I will be there.
Fellows! Somers!
We're right here, Professor.
Sounded like Jules.
Devereaux?
Yes. What is it? I am here.
Are you all right?
Yes. The pain is less.
Keep talking. We thought we heard you cry out.
I have been asleep.
Perhaps you were talking in your sleep.
Ah, yes. Then I hope I did not blemish the reputations of any fair ladies I may have known.
You didn't mention any names.
I never asked any names. Tell me of this cry you heard.
It sounded like you. Like you would have sounded in your death agonies.
It could hardly have been me, Doctor. When I have been here all the time, dreaming of all the things I might learn to do with only my left hand. I dreamed it was fixed with a hook. And when I... Congratulations, Dr. Weiger.
Where are you?
Where all of you soon will be. I shall be back tomorrow night. Bonsoir.
Devereaux! Devereaux!
What does it mean, Doctor?
He is dead.
But he spoke, Carl.
It's supposed to be a ghost story?
No. No, I do not believe in ghosts. We are dealing with a man who is dead, but whose voice and memory live. How this can be, I do not know. But its implications are far more terrible than any ghost could ever be.
But what happened to their bodies, girl?
They were eaten.
Even the bones?
The bones are, I think, hidden.
Most of the dynamite is gone.
Huh? Dynamite?
But not for grenades.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Well, I may as well pick up what's left.
Yes, we shall need them. We shall have to stay away from the beach hereafter. Come, Hank, we still have the radio to repair. Tonight we will wait for Jules to speak to us.
Well, it's long after dark.
You should have heard him by now.
We will hear. Be patient.
Good evening, mes amis. I am glad you are all still with us. Be not shocked that the weapon speaks. I transmit, so I must be received. Hearken to all things metal, for I may be in them.
What do you want?
First, I want to reassure you that I am of sound mind, if not of body. Something remarkable has happened to me. I would like all of you to come and see for yourselves.
Where are you, Jules?
In the caves, at the bottom of Carson's pit.
And what about Carson?
I'm here too. My leg no longer troubles me. It's almost exhilarating. Will you come?
Yes. Wait for us.
We'll wait. Let's go.
Dale.
We shall need the equipment. We must go. We have to find out.
Show yourself!
I killed it.
Yes, by the sheerest luck.
Why didn't the grenades hurt it? Remember what the journal said about the worm? Yeah, that a knife passed through it like water.
The stone penetrated its brain, or motor area, or whatever keeps the thing alive. I think if we remove the stone, the crab would return to life.
Oh, let's just leave it be, huh?
We will bury it. If a blade passes through it like a finger through mercury, then like a river of mercury, we should be able to sever a part of it by completely separating it from the rest of the body. Firstly, there. Now we have a specimen. Set your dynamite, Hank.
Do you have any theories, Doctor?
Perhaps. All I can tell you now is that this is a male land crab, which you as a biologist will know better than I.
Yes, Carl. I know the species appears to be that of an ordinary land crab, but...
Out, quickly!
You have destroyed McLean and all of his party. You have destroyed them and tried to destroy me. This, mes amis, was one great mistake.
Well, Doctor?
Oh, this is ridiculous. The molecular structure of this crab is entirely disrupted. There's no cohesion between the atoms.
I don't understand.
Nor do I. Apparently, we have one of those biological freaks resulting from an overdose of radiation poisoning. The way to explain it is, look, electricity. The free electron in the copper atom breaks off to circle the next atom, taking the charge along the wire. Do you follow me, Hank?
I think so. The free electrons jump from atom to atom along the copper at the speed of light. I remember that from high school.
Yes, atom to atom. Well, something like that has happened to our crab. But instead of free electrons, the crab has free atoms, all disconnected. It's like a mass of liquid with a permanent shape. Any matter, therefore, that the crab eats will be assimilated in its body of solid energy, becoming part of the crab.
Like the bodies of the dead men?
Yes. And their brain tissue, which after all is nothing more than a storage house for electrical impulses.
That means that the crab can eat his victim's brain, absorbing his mind intact and working.
It's as good a theory as any other to explain what's happened.
But, Doctor, that theory doesn't explain why Jules and Carson's minds have turned against us.
Preservation of the species. Once they were men, now they are land crabs.
Okay, Professor. How are the crabs blowing up the island?
I am not sure. But imagine they are able to send out arcs of heat. They are packed with it. The sides of the pit were glazed as if the rock were melted.
They can melt and fuse parts of the caverns, explode the materials contained, and bring about the slides.
Why?
To get at us, of course.
Looks like we're on the verge of a blessed event.
What's that? What's that?
Or is this the one you killed?
No, it is still alive. We did not kill it.
Notice the belt of yellow fat around the base of the shell? It would indicate that she's in a very delicate condition. Pretty close, too. I, for one, should not like to be around to hear the patter of so many tiny feet.
And we've got to kill it.
Kill it?
It's easier said than done, Hank.
Oh, now, wait. This needs some thought.
Doctor, you're not going to suggest that we save it for science. That would be suicide.
No, thank you, Martha. I have no ambition toward becoming a mad scientist. But I do think we ought to try and capture the thing. Would you not like to examine a live specimen?
Certainly I would. But I had a chance to see how the specimen examined the lab wall last night.
Hey, take a look at this. You said something about the crab being afraid of electricity, Doctor. Let's find out.
Ashes. The electricity destroyed the leg in less than a second.
That proves that the crab is negatively charged.
Yes. Then, Hank, you must create a trap of positive energy.
Ha! It works.
Sure it does, Doctor. It's easier to build than a model airplane.
The charge must be just strong enough to de-energize the crab. Long enough for us to remove the claws and cage it. But not strong enough to kill the thing.
Well, that's fine, Carl, but how do we get the crab to step into it?
Apparently, the creature sleeps by daytime. We must take the ark and place it in one of the well-traveled cave routes. He has 8 legs with which to step on the plate. I am sure he will manage.
Yes, but you'd better select a new approach to the cave. The beach entrance is completely underwater, and the pit is...
He is using the dynamite. We must hurry.
You've already lowered the electric eyes into the cave?
Yes, you must place them either side of one of the upper caves. The lower caverns will be flooded by now.
Use the underwater channels to the ocean as your escape. We'll try to attract his attention from up here. Take care, honey.
Might as well get to work. I'll plant this one, you take the other.
All right. Lonesome in here.
It's lonesome everywhere.
You know, I bet you can even be lonesome in a crowd.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you found that special someone.
You found him yet?
Why do you ask?
Because behind that wall. This might be the perfect time to collect some of Dr. Vigan's mercury. If I can't make it back, you get out of here as fast as you can.
Just ran across the bottom of the pit into another cave. Martha! Let's get down to the sea entrance.
race.
So, you have wounded me. I must grow a new claw. Well and good, for I can do it in a day. But will you grow new lives when I have taken yours from you?
You think it'll work now, Hank?
It should. Everything's put together. The generator's always worked. All we have to worry about is the strength of our signal. That is, if Dr. Devereaux and Carson will leave us alone long enough to try it out.
I'm afraid they won't. Rather than our receiving radio signals, they would prefer to receive us in that great common stomach of theirs.
Well, come on, Carl. Let's go out and see what's left of this rock.
I hope there is still something left upon which to stand.
Well, I guess it's about time I fixed us some food.
There used to be ridges there for maybe 2 miles.
Now there's less than half a city block. Soon we will have nowhere to run.
That's the idea, isn't it?
The path is still there.
Yes, Carl, but where does it lead?
To the pit and to the sea. At least to the sea.
We'll soon find out.
Aloha, Malahinis. This is your favorite disc jockey, Pineapple Joe. Listen now to Mokakima and his Molokai boys playing Moana Loa Lava.
It's working.
Only the receiver, not the transmitter.
Well, can you fix it?
I don't know. Maybe with this telegraph key and a Morse code setup.
Well, we don't have to worry about the pit any longer, Carl.
No. Shall we go?
Might as well. It's not wasting any time.
Sound came from over there.
Let's go.
Oh, Hank, I don't know what we'd have done without you. Where did you ever learn to fix all these things?
In the Navy during the war. And I knocked around a lot in the radio and the TV repair business.
Ended up in the South Pacific.
Yeah. How'd you get here?
Well, after Dale and I graduated, we stayed on at the Institute and research.
You've been together ever since?
Uh-huh. And when his promotion comes through, we'll be making it a lifetime partnership.
Yeah. Well, let's go find Carl and Dale and tell them this thing works.
Is that not oil?
Yes, it is, Carl. I've never heard of oil being found on the Pacific Islands before.
The detonations must have opened a source deep in the island.
But look, it seems to be coming from 2 sources.
I suggest we trace them.
You want to follow this oil underground?
I feel we must.
But the crab, Carl.
The crab is like a rattlesnake. It can be heard long before it can be seen. I believe we can keep out of its way if we only remain alert. He knows this better than we do. That is why he's trying to reduce this island to a small corner from which we cannot escape.
All right. But at the first sound of a rattle, get out of there, huh?
All right. Don't worry. Don't worry. You follow this stream, and I shall follow the other one.
the caves. Why did he go? Never mind. The crab is heading straight for him. We've got to get him out before it's too late. Now, let's go. Stay there, Marty.
Did you kill it?
No. He can avoid the mainstream.
Of all of us, I thought Carl would be the one to... That fire won't hold it very long.
I don't think it matters much anymore.
Well, just so it holds it long enough for me to get one message away. Just one more SOS.
Hank, you got the radio?
That was quick thinking, Dale. The pity is that all fires must one day burn out.
You getting through, Hank?
How should I know? I'm not on the other end of this thing.
Oh, Hank, you must get through.
I know it. It's gone dead.
I am afraid that won't help you, Hank. By the time ships and planes can arrive, this island will have vanished beneath the waves of the sea. But you will not drown. You will be a part of me. And as with McLean, there will be no evidence of how you vanished, or of my existence. We will rest in the caves and plan our assault upon the world of men.
Good these will be now, Hank. But I got 2 grenades left. How about you?
I got 4. Let's see what's in the toolbox.
Transmitter's still working. Here, this looks good.
Thanks for watching the Baba Ghoulie Show by OTR Halloween Holidays. This is Waddle the Duck saying check out Channel Watch Waddle for some fun cartoons with no static.